That is exactly how we were told. Thank you guys for being here. You know, sometimes your kids are complex, you know, the medical care here at Children's, and this is one of those stories that is a very complex medical journey, and we're welcoming the mom, Penny, and dad, Paul, here to talk to us about their daughter, Maria, who, well, sometimes the stories don't end the way that we hope, and sometimes there's not a happy ending, but you're willing to come and talk to us even through some of the most unimaginable situations. So welcome and thank you. Mom, why don't we start with you, Penny, and tell us about Maria and how your story starts.
Yes, so Maria was born November 29th, 2017, 2016 with hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy, a brain injury that resulted from the lack of oxygen during the birth process. Because of that and its sequelae, she was, as you said, very medically complex. Paul and I were first introduced to Children's Wisconsin in August of 2017 when we came here seeking a second opinion for her seizures. We were so impressed that we transferred all of her care at that time, and over the years her medical team grew larger and larger.
And so you came from Illinois, we should tell people, and you started off at the hospital there, and then when you went to get a second opinion, you didn't just come to Children's, though, for second opinions. You guys kind of went all over the place.
Absolutely. We've traveled, I mean, obviously coming from Chicago, there's many well-known children's hospitals there. We drove across the country to Nemours DuPont, but every single time we always came back here and realized, and Paul would agree with me, we feel that this is the best children's hospital in the world. Just the care that they provide here, how much they genuinely care for not only the child but the family. But this was the only place that we would have ever trusted Maria's care and life with.
Penny, you're holding a framed photograph of Maria, who did pass away. We kind of made reference to that. And Paul, what age was Maria when that photograph was taken?
She was, I believe was she 3 or 4 in that, or maybe closer to 5?
She was 5.
She was about 5.
Yes, and she'd been under the care right from the start, pretty much?
Yes.
Describe how that did begin.
You know, it really began at a very early age, so, you know, we were dealt with a very difficult hand, a very challenging situation, and throughout that process, we really met a lot of wonderful people, but really here at Children's, it made the process not necessarily easier, but we were really able to keep that competitive edge, as I would refer to, because you're constantly fighting, you're constantly grasping for air, you're constantly just trying to stay above water. And it wasn't necessarily just words of encouragement, it was the people, it was the process, it was the passion, and it was really the human capital, the individuals here at Children's that made us feel that we were not only in the right place, we didn't want to be here, but obviously the circumstances that led us here and us really going all across the country brought us back to Children's time and time again, and it really extended Maria's life by multiple years because of all of the specialists, all of the nurses, everybody that helped out. So we're just eternally grateful to Children's and grateful to be here and share Maria's story.
We're talking to the Mangiardis, whose daughter Maria passed away in August of 2023 at the age of 6.5.
So you were dealing with her surgeries. What made her case so complex?
So she had, you know, multiple issues, but her biggest challenge towards the end was her respiratory status. So the last year and a half of Maria's life was extremely difficult. We were having more frequent and lengthy ICU stays. She often needed to be intubated for pneumonia. And it was August of 2023 that Paul and I had to face that difficult decision of realizing we don't want her to keep struggling. And that's when we consulted the palliative team while she was here inpatient. And it was August 24th, 2023 that she went home to heaven.
And you guys obviously have realized the benefit of your words for others moving forward. Why is that so important to you to show up at an event like this?
I think if someone hasn't experienced having a medically complex child or a sick child, and I hope no one has to go through that experience, but it really changes your perspective on life in terms of what is truly important. And so for for us, just having that experience that's completely reshaped the entirety of our lives.
And the Child Life Services here, tell us a little bit about that, because I know you guys spend some time with them and helping to preserve the memories.
Yes, the last week or so of Maria's life, when we kind of knew where the journey was going to end, we are so grateful. They came in and spent so much time with us creating some memory projects, and so we have locks of her hair, we have a molded cast of her hand and foot, fingerprints, that again, they were there not only to support us as we were kind of transitioning towards the end of life, but giving us some mementos that we cherish even to this day that we can go back on and really grasp and hold on to as memories of Maria.
It's comprehensive care. We've said it time and time again, and it doesn't stop. And it's great to see you guys back here. And thank you for coming back and sharing the story.
Now, what would you like to say to the people that are listening to us today and why they should help and donate to Children's?
Well, as Paul and I have said, this is the greatest hospital for children in the country, if not the world, and they care so much for the children here. And it's because of the support of the community that, donating money that provide for this hospital to continue to do research and get the state-of-the-art equipment and continue to build beautiful facilities. And as Paul and I always say, it is not the facilities, it's not the equipment, it's the people, but they're able then to give back into their staff, into their, finding the best physicians and recruiting the best physicians and staff here, and it's genuinely because of the support of the community that Children's can continue to be the best hospital.
And like you said, you don't ever want to have to be here, and you hope that those listening won't ever need it, but just in case, it's a great insurance policy. It's here in our backyard. You can find it in your heart to donate. The phone lines are open. They're waiting for you to call, 414-337-9554. You can go to WKLH.com and donate there as well. Thank you, both of you, for coming and sharing your story. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
The Miracle Marathon continues. And by March Family Foundation, with the Rockies Hometown Morning Show benefiting children, Wisconsin on 96.5 WKLH.